folks. Welcome to Ladies POV. Thank you so much for taking time out and joining us. And we are a panel of ladies that like to discuss hot topics, fun topics, and just whatever's on our brain. So before we jump into further introductions, if you could just take a little bit of time and like, subscribe, and leave a comment. I'm Devin, and I am joined by Miss Rue.
What's going on?
And Lucretia.
Hello.
That was a delayed reaction.
That's my.
I missed it.
It might be a delay. Hey, Lamar. Hey, Shantae.
Hey, Lamar.
Thank you, folks. Hey. Thank you for joining us. Lucretia, are you having mic problems, or does it just seem like you're delayed when you answer? Can you hear okay?
I think I'm delayed. I've switched devices because at the pre-show I was delayed. It may still be a lag. I don't know. If it is, I apologize.
Oh, okay. Okay. So now we know that's what it is. So there may be a little bit of a lag. And we have a few topics to get into. So I think we should just jump right on in. Y'all, Miss Oscar-winning actress Monique stood in her gray bathrobe the other day on camera and announced that she's really disappointed with women for being out in public in their bonnets, headscarves, and blankets in the airport with slippers and things like that. Hey, Kendrick, thanks for joining us. And it has gone viral, and it's really sparked some conversations about it. Let's see where you ladies are with this. Lucretia.
Okay, not Lucretia.
I didn't see the video in the bathrobe. I just saw the one in the car. But honestly, I'm gonna wear my bonnet whenever I want to, as long as I want to. What else? Me? That's my head, my hair, whatever. That's what I want to put on. That's what I'm gonna wear.
Quick, easy, simple.
I sure was waiting because that whole thing right there, it was like all choppy. I wasn't sure if you were done.
Yeah. What's up, Rue? What did you think about it?
Look, I'm wearing my wrap now, so she can kick rocks and count them. I think it boils down to, I understand where she's coming from, where she's saying, ladies, present yourself accordingly in public, this, that, and the other. But if you're like a mom and a wife, it's like we don't need to impress nobody else. And if you're comfortable with yourself, with your inner self, then I don't see a reason to stress what you look like in public. But again, it is perception. So you do you, boo-boo. Do you. I'm gonna wear what I want.
I definitely got worried.
I mean, I can remember when you used to wear weed.
When what? You know what? I'm gonna need you to switch to FiOS.
I can remember it when it was. Girl, I've tried several different things. And honestly, what it is, no, they're working on the house next door. All of our power, internet, everything, since they've been working on that, everything has been a mess. And he had them come out on Saturday thinking it wouldn't interfere with people who work during the week. But even some of the shows that we stream, very, very slow. And there's nothing I can do about it. I've called Spectrum 3. There's nothing until they finish.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So my apologies.
No problem. No, I definitely get where Monique was coming from. And I think she comes from a generation not much, older than my own generation, where your grandmother, your mother always stressed that you have to leave the house a certain way and that people were going to judge you if you didn't leave the house a certain way. I passed that same teachings on actually to my girls. And I remember when I saw my girl, not this holiday, but the prior one, she was like, before I come over there, let me let you know I'm wearing my bonnet because I don't feel like doing my hair, just to kind of let me know, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I believe it's to each its own. I feel like Monique believes that certain people judge us based on how we present, to the world, and that they're, looking down on us and less than, and things like that. And for me personally, I would never be out and about like that, only because I was always kind of chastised for it and was taught you better not. And that's just always stayed with me, and I always carried forward with my daughters. But I also believe to each his own. You know what I'm saying? Where I feel like that's not my thing, I don't care if my daughter does it, because she's her own person and she can do what she wants. She's grown. You know what I'm saying? So, and I don't think that my child is less than because she's willing to go to the grocery store in a bonnet or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Because I know who she is as a person, which tells me that not everybody who may be walking around with a bonnet on or a headscarf or whatever should be judged in a negative way. They have their own reasons for that. My daughter, for instance, had just gotten her hair done and she wasn't going to take it down and whatever. And I respect that. And you know what I'm saying? I just sweep around your own front door.
It's hypocritical to me for, like, you have a group of individuals that promote, what is it, like the femininity and owning your self-love and non-body shaming and this, that, and the other. But then you got another side that's just like, I look like that. Like, why are you going out in public with a headscarf on? It's like, again, for every position, there's going to be opposition. And I think people just need to, I think it was Shantae that said it, just worry about their own self. They need to worry about their own self.
For her to have her opinion, you know what I'm saying? She's definitely entitled to her own personal opinion. The only thing that I didn't like was when she said that if she saw you out in public like that, she may have to tap you on the shoulder and be like, hey niece or whatever, I'm gonna need you to do better, or I'm gonna need you to get it together, when that's totally not her business. Shantae is saying, I think there are way more important things. Hell, teen wearing hoodies in 90-degree weather.
That's me. That's me.
Public video, and she was in a robe. She was in a robe, and even if she was in her house, it doesn't matter. She was on camera, and a lot of people have now seen that video of her in a robe critiquing others. So she can also be critiqued, and like I say, she can still have her opinion when she sees people. But I don't think she should run up on anybody and tell them you need to do better, because this really young may get her together.
Yeah, here's my issue. You are one of the videos you were calling went saying they're not queens, or they, whatever about queendom, and you're not this, you're not representing yourself. I have 2 degrees and I'm working on my 3rd. So what makes me less than the sister over there? Because I got a bonnet on. You don't know my situation. When I get on the plane going from A to B for work, I cover my hair because I don't want everybody touching my hair. I don't know who been on that seat before me. Then when I get off, yes, I take it off. I don't care what you think. First, you teach us, be smart, be about your brain. Don't worry about what people think when they're looking at you. Now, all of a sudden, we back to being judged, and our worth is all tied to our appearance. So, I mean, if I don't come out of the house and I'm starched down, I'm not as much, I'm worth less. Gone with that.
Okay,
who's this, Kate and Pat? I wear scarves too. My bonnets match my clothes. So, I mean, girl, no.
So to DJ's point, like he said, like, why, if you're gonna do something like that, just know that people do perceive you a certain way when you look a certain way. So I think, like I said, I get what her point was by saying, why would you want to look at that way, in public? That type of situation, we need to hold ourselves, to a higher standard. I get it. However, it's a free country. Like, there's half the time I'm wearing sweats. I wear sweats at the door. I wear sweats 365. Like, it doesn't matter to me. I'm comfortable within myself, but I'm not gonna sit here and judge somebody else. If anything, why don't you just teach your kids not to be so judgmental, or teach your neighbor not to be judging people, because as Christians say, it's not your place to judge. So keep your opinion to yourself and worry about your own self.
Brittany's talking about presentation. It's easy to wrap up and look a certain kind of way, and then on the inside be all messed up. You can make everything pretty. I've seen come in very pretty packages, and it doesn't matter what the outside looks like. We got to get out of this judging everybody and worrying about what everybody else is doing. Like Rue's hair wrap, I think that's cute.
I think she's like more talking about presentation. Right. When you're talking about presentation, though, we're talking about she's mainly referring to the people that are like going to the grocery store with their robe and their house shoes still on. Like, if I'm going to the store and I'm running an errand, I'm doing a task, I don't care what I look like because I'm probably doing something that's just going to make me dirty. And I'm not trying to ruin my good clothes doing that. So that's the presentation. Of course, we're not going to be doing that to like maybe our place of business or to where we're going to be marketing ourselves, accordingly. So presentation is totally different from just out and about to certain people. I wanted to address that last comment.
I understand where Brittany's coming from. I do agree, but at the same time, I do believe to each his own. We just need, for those who choose to do things a certain way, just understand that you may be judged and you may be treated a certain way as well. And that's kind of all there is to it. Let's switch gears a little bit, y'all. Miss Naomi Osaka. I don't know if you ladies know about her. She's kicking and taking names on the tennis court. Well, she withdrew from the French Open this weekend after being fined and threatened with future suspension after she made a decision not to take part in a post-match press conference citing concerns for her mental health. And she was the one to beat. She was that girl. How you ladies feel about that, Rue?
She's naturally shy already. Like she even said it in that, and after she got booed, she's even said like I wasn't necessarily like, upset that I was getting booed. It was the fact that was so much attention on me especially because of it, and I'm just, into myself. Like she's a shy person. She's very, what's the word when they're introverted? She's an introvert. So if she doesn't like doing press conference, I feel like that should be her prerogative not to do a dang press conference. I understand she may be under contract, this and the other. That's also something she should have worked out beforehand, been like, look, I don't do press conferences, so you can't ding me. Like have a clause in there where they can't sue her because of it or fine her because of it. But everybody should have a right to, do whatever they're going to do, especially when it comes to mental health. If she's not up for it, then she's not up for it. Period. I'm going to step out 1 second because.
Lucretia, did you hear about that little incident?
I love it. I am 100% for mental health, especially in women, young women. When they stand up for themselves, I love it. I love her team for backing her. I do wish she taken a page from Marshawn and just went on there and every question that they asked, would have did comically, I'm only here so I don't get fined or, whatever it is. I'm happy that she put her first and said, screw what everybody else got to think. I'm going to do me and I'm going to make sure I'm okay. I'm really excited about that part. I'm so happy that she's doing that. She's standing up. I mean, I think she's showing other young ladies, if you're not comfortable, step back. And like Bruce said, she's already expressed how uncomfortable she is in that situation. I don't understand why they're still pushing her to do that. I don't think all athletes should have to do press conferences. Some of them are so tired and drained from whatever they just participated in, and then you're going to come make them sit there and answer all these questions. I think a lot of it is unnecessary. Some of these boxers, especially after the fights, they will come on and you can see in their face, they're tired. Like, do press conferences days later.
Something buzzing.
That's not me. I think that's Rue.
Did you plug something in?
Did I what?
Plug something in or unplug
Yeah,
something?
I did because my phone's going to die.
Oh, it's better now.
Does it still work?
It's Hey,
Tam.
Hey, Tam.
Yeah.
Tam,
like, look.
Yeah, we've talked about the Bonnets.
Look, I didn't want to cut out like I did. Was that last time? Not This is a few times ago, but right in the middle, I'm talking and it just cut off. So I'm like, let me go ahead and plug it in. My bad, y'all. Okay,
That's fine.
continue.
Were you done, Lucretia?
Yeah, I said I'm happy with her doing it. I'm glad she's doing it. I wish more people would. Or either take the Marshawn Lynch. I'm only here so I don't get fined.
I love that. You know, what I feel bad for is this girl has probably loved tennis forever. She just wants to play tennis. She was able to master her game to the point where she was this good and this sought after, and she can't just go and play and without all the scrutiny. What is that buzzing? Is that me?
Not me.
No, I think
Not
it's
me.
through.
Not me.
I don't have anything.
It started. You did, bro.
I didn't do anything.
I think that she should be able to back out of things based on her anxiety. You know what I'm saying? Because I think some people truly do have anxiety, and I think that it should just be respected that that's something that she didn't want to do. And if I'm not mistaken, this was going to be done even before her game. And if she's about to go out there and do her thing, she may not want to, she may be in a different headspace where she should be able to be to herself and focus on herself and not have to do that. So I don't have a problem with her not wanting to do these interviews beforehand, and I don't think it should be a fine. I should just think they should say she's unavailable for the moment, but she will be available later on this evening or after the match or the next day or things like that. I don't think it should have gone as far as it did. I have no idea. I don't think it should have gone as far as it did. And now if the individual that wins, to me, it's almost kind of unfair because she wasn't there and they weren't able to beat the best of the best.
Yep.
I agree. I'm trying to figure out what are y'all hearing that I'm not hearing. It's like really bugging y'all.
Take your earphones off. Take your earphones off and see if you hear it. Yeah, and see if you can hear it.
What am I trying to hear?
It's a really
sounds like a hair dryer.
A buzzing sound. It does sound very similar to a hair dryer.
You still hear it?
Yeah, I'm not sure what it is. We'll just keep going. But yeah, I do think that they should be able to come back. She should be able to come back later. And I think it's a teaching, I think it's a teaching opportunity to bring up the conversation of mental health. And maybe this incident will change the way things are going moving forward, you know? I think they may open the conversation and maybe some athletes may not have to be placed in that situation in the future because, you know what I'm saying? Because she initiated this conversation and started the ball rolling.
Yeah.
Anything else on that, ladies?
Look, now I can tell who's ADD. Y'all are like really distracted.
Yeah.
I think did they know that she was such an introvert?
I think so.
No, that she in the like one of her very first press conferences, she said it.
Because when I heard about it, I was like, okay, they know that girl is shy. They know she's the number 2 seed. Are they trying to force her into doing this to knock her off her game? Or is this something that just naturally progressed? That's why I went with it. So, I mean, it could be, you know, it's just something that everybody has to do. But I felt like it was more to it. You know it was going to bother her, so let's just poke the bear. Who knows?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, that's pretty much all I got with it. Like, she don't care to do the press conferences. Okay.
We're good with that. Thank you, Tam. It's much appreciated. I'm sorry we're a little distracted. I'm sorry about that, but Thank you, Tam. We really appreciate it.
Hey, thanks, Tam.
Sticker.
Tam, you can still make your comments about the bonnet.
Okay, y'all. Because I'm afraid of this topic. Let's go ahead and get into it because we're gonna end this.
There we go. See, that's why y'all trying to move y'all way slow through it.
On our last conversation, we discussed abortion and a woman's right to choose. But one thing we didn't hit on was does the man have a right then, if a woman has the right to choose an abortion, does a man have a right to abandon their children because they feel like it's best for themselves?
Go ahead, you go ahead first.
Well, I'm gonna let you start on this one.
Nope. I reserve my comments to after, because I know we talked about this last time, and I said that. What did I say? I said that it's a life, period, right? So using that same respect, if it takes two people to be able to equally make a decision, that means your decision is not yours alone. That's his seed, right? It takes two to tango. So go ahead.
Lucretia, do you have anything on this one?
If he want to walk away, sign your rights. My choice. I'm still pro-choice. If she don't want it, don't have it. I'm gonna always be choice. I'm gonna be pro-choice. If he wants to walk away. Do what you need to do to raise that baby. I mean, if you want it and he doesn't, and you have it, you can't force him to. You get pregnant and he does, then he can't force you to have it. That's your body. I'm always do what's best for me and my body.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
What you got, Dev?
I am still pro-choice. I think it's a woman should always have the right to choose. She's carrying the baby, and if I'm going to I'm going to just speak from my own personal experience about it. Like, I don't know when a man didn't have the right to walk away. There's 3 generations just in my immediate family of the man deciding to walk away, and nothing was done with it, stemming from my mom to myself to one of my children. You know what I'm saying? And there's no consequences for it. I've got things going on in my personal life now. When things go wrong with my child, it comes all back on me. You know what I'm saying? I didn't make a big deal out of it. I decided to have him, as some people would prefer. And he decided to not take part in raising him, although it was agreed that that was what would happen. You know what I'm saying? And it all kind of falls back on the mom. So when we say it's a man's right to choose to walk away, it is. And it's also my right to not have to stand in being a single parent or stand in doing these things on my own, or to risk my life or my health, including my mental health, to be able to do this. Would I have an abortion today? No, I'm not saying that I would. But what I'm saying is I would never judge a woman if they choose to do that with their life and their body. Because if we go on the social norms, if we talk about the social norms, raising a child, parenting a child, usually always falls back on the mom. If something goes wrong with that child, if that child needs something, if that child gets in trouble, whatever goes on in that child's life, from my personal experience, it usually falls back on the mother. If the dad goes away and he's not involved, nobody criticizes him, nobody goes after him, none of these things happen. I can see, I know of so many situations where the man was able to walk away and there was no consequence. The woman was left there holding the bag. In the perfect world, if a woman has a child, then just like you say, the man and the woman should both be involved in whether or not a child is brought into this world. A man and a woman should both be involved in raising that child after the child is here. But that's not always the case. It's more often than not, the woman is left holding the bag. Tam is saying, are you asking, should there be an equal decision to abort a child? No. I think if you're married and you want to involve Rue, you're muted, honey. I think if
Keep
you're,
muting me.
I
Keep
think if
muting me.
you're married and you want to involve your spouse in something like that, then I think that's totally fine. I think that if you're a single, if you're a woman and you get pregnant and you make a decision not to do this because you feel like there's a chance you could be a single parent, I'm not going to judge you. DJ, you said, well, if I give you the funds and you decide not to go through with it, please give me my money back and not buy some Gucci shoes. I hear you. You know, I hear what you're saying, but you also know that you don't have to give her the funds in order for her to do that. A man doesn't have to be involved and doesn't have to pay for this, doesn't have to go through the pain and the anguish and the mental guilt and all that of having an abortion. And he also doesn't have to be there after the child is born. No one is forcing him to do so. Even if the courts say you legally obligated to pay child support, let's just be real. Some men still just don't do it. But Ruth, I want you to hop on in.
Man, there was so much, like, I don't know where to start. Okay, so the original question, I like DJ's question, does everybody, does both parties have the equal right to choose to abort a child? And to me, if you're talking about choices, then the answer should be yes. If a guy sits there and tells you, I do not want a child, and again, it goes down to choice for me, because woman has the same opportunity to make that choice not to lay down with someone. Likewise, a man has that same opportunity to keep his seed to himself. So if y'all do the deed and then decide, okay, well, now somebody's pregnant, what to do about it? And the guy says no, the accountability and responsibility that I was referring to before was the fact that the woman is making the choice to keep or abort a child. If she goes ahead and keeps it after the guy said, I do not adamantly want a child, then that is your responsibility and your burden to bear. So the guy does have an opportunity to leave at that point too. Now, what if she decides to abort the child, but he didn't want it aborted? You just took that life away from him. He wanted the child. You didn't. So why couldn't you have had the baby and go ahead and let him be a father? Then you wouldn't have to worry about child support or any unwanted fighting over finances and all this other stuff that I don't even know how people justify. But it boils down to the right to choice. If you're going to give a woman the right to her body after she done already made a decision to give her body to somebody else, then you cannot deny a man the same right. So I feel like the meme is pretty much correct. Like, keep that same energy. If you're going to have a child, if that dude want to come and take you to court because you didn't, in his eyes, murdered a life, I feel like he could sue you. Go ahead and get your money, man. So that's where I'm at
You
with
said
it.
that about financial reasons that she wouldn't have to bear financial burden. It's women on child support for the same reason. They had a baby. They didn't want the baby. They gave the baby to the dad, and the daddy's on child support. I've seen the men. I mean, just sign your rights away. If you don't want that child, sign over your rights. But I don't think men go through the same thing that women do when they're pregnant. That's my thing. I have to endure 10 months of my body changing, gaining weight, losing weight, hormone issues. I have to endure the pain at labor. I have those physical and mental scars.
And you
They
don't
don't
think a
have that.
man doesn't? You don't think a man doesn't though?
No.
If he values a life
No.
and he wants that baby,
No.
you don't think that's calling emotional?
Then,
like trauma
and then
to
you
him?
go and have another baby. It's so much easier for him to go and have a baby with somebody else.
It's
I'm
not
pretty
about
sure
what's
this woman
easy
said
though.
she didn't want it. It is about what it is. Because if you wanted, you were that adamant about having a child, you probably had that same conversation with her and said, I want a baby. I'm pretty sure she said she didn't want anymore. At some point, that conversation has come up. And let's just say that it didn't come up. But when she gets pregnant, birth control fails, or they weren't using a contraceptive, and now it's, you gonna have the baby. No, I'm not. They're arguing about that. Write down what he's gonna go through. Write down what he suffers. I have never I'm always going to be pro-choice, but in this incident, you can't tell me what I'm going to do with my body. I understand I'm pregnant, and then who's to say that this is even your child? So what if she start that first and she just who she say it's not? But yeah, of course everybody knows the risk when they lay down, but this is still my body. At the beginning of the day and at the end of the day, this is my body. There was
Okay,
a
well,
case
I
in the
just
group
tell
of
the
a
men,
woman
be
telling a man
warned.
she was
Y'all need to look. The men,
then
since the
was
women ain't gonna do it.
extra.
Look,
Baby.
since the women ain't gonna do it, and it's gonna be all about, you know, my body, my choice. Men, your body, your choice. You better start thinking. Start. I'm gonna tell them that. Start thinking and watch who you lay down with.
Exactly. Wrap it up.
I'm pro babies in our culture. Yes.
Babies in our culture. Shantae mentioned there was a case in the group of women telling a man she didn't want a kid. He convinced her to have it and put her on child support. Then he was complaining that she pays extra but won't see the baby. Rue, I actually get exactly where you come from, and I understand where you come from, but I think that the men that you're referring to are the men in like the best case scenario. I personally don't know I know a lot of the other dudes. I know a lot of good guys who, if they tell you they want you to have this baby, I'm gonna be there for you. I'm gonna help take care of it. If you don't want it, give it to me. I got it. Don't worry about it. You may or may not put her on child support. There are a lot of those men who exist, but there are also a lot of bum A dudes who would tell you they want a baby. You have this baby, he goes, and that's
okay.
his. But that's also her right to not have to go through that.
Okay, but look, like you just said, there are those men out there. You cannot use the trauma or the stereotype to defer. Like let's think about it like though all those guys in the world actually existed. Would you still feel the same way about your body, your choice?
Depends on
or would you actually if you knew that all these men were out there and that all of them, it doesn't matter who you laid down with, they all the men had the same mentality. Would you feel the same?
It depends on where I am physically,
Yes.
where I am mentally, because I'm getting pregnant, because I'm giving birth, because I'm breastfeeding, because I'm doing all these things as far as mothering. So depending, then it would strictly be based on that and me being able to sustain a healthy pregnancy and me being able to sustain breastfeeding and things like that. It would be strictly based on that. But people make a lot of mistakes in this world. I don't judge women on the decisions that they make. You know, you have some women who think they're in full-fledged relationships with dudes, get pregnant, find out he married. They may not want to have the baby. I don't know that woman, but I watch a lot of TV. So I'm just saying, if she decided she didn't want to have that baby because she didn't want to raise it by herself, because she already knows dude's going to sign his rights if he can, because he has a wife and a family, I'm not judging her. Because guess what? If she has this baby, he signs over his rights. She depends on the state for aid and help to raise the baby. Then she got to deal with that scrutiny.
Okay, so you're saying like so you're saying like if a woman decides to have a baby, then immediately the delay is tripping me up. But so you're saying, Devin, whenever a woman decides to have a child because she don't know if he's going to be involved in her life or whatever, and when he makes the decision, or she assumes he makes the decision not to be in the child's life, then at that point, women should go ahead and take the man to court and say, give up your rights. That way you're not obligated to this child. Now, what woman is actually going to do that is what you're saying, right? What woman is actually going to do that?
Overall, what I think I want to say is in 2021, no man should be able to police a woman's body, her decisions, what she does or doesn't do with her body. I can have 30 penises in me for the weekend and get pregnant, but nobody's going to make me do something I don't want to do with my body. Nobody's going to judge me if I sleep with a deadbeat. That's my business. Dudes be out here spreading it wide like mayonnaise, and don't nobody say nothing to them. But the difference between a man and a woman is men don't get pregnant. Men be spreading seeds like they planting flowers. No
right,
one.
but we have the right as soon as we.
No one tells a man he does not have a right to go out there and poke it where he wants and what he can do with it after the fact. So no one has a right to tell me what I do after I let him poke it.
But it's already implied. It's already assumed, because once we take a seed, it's ours. Possession is 9/10 of the law. So it's your seed now to do what you want with it. That's what you're telling him every time you lay down with him. You're taking it. Do you get it?
I don't know. I feel like that's kind of that's going in a different direction.
That's oversimple. That's oversimplistic. My answer is gonna be the same as it was a while ago. You can't make me do something with my body. This is my body. You want a baby?
But you're policing his sperm. That's my point.
He needs to
You're policing his sperm.
Needs to take responsibility. He needs to take responsibility for his sperm. I've told you I don't want a baby, just like they come back and say they didn't want a baby. Mm-hmm. So I've said up front, I don't want a child. If I get pregnant, I'm not keeping it. If you see me taking birth control and then we accidentally get pregnant, or we're taking steps not to have a baby and we get pregnant, then you should already assume, okay, she didn't want a baby.
Man, we got some faulty medical stuff going on. I'm just realizing we got some faulty medical stuff. Well, no, if we really know that it's not going to happen.
Can we go where what Tam just said is, I think there are more options rather than abortion. Seems like we're always discussing the brown leaves, but fail to water the roots. And this is one of the things that I spoke about during that abortion topic, which is if you're going to be pro no abortion, pro-life, basically, I don't have a problem with that. Mm-hmm. But let's put some more funding in the pre. You know what I'm saying? Let's not take funding away from sex education at school.
But how about y'all just don't have sex?
Planned Parenthood. let's make the Plan B.
Can't take that off the table, right?
Let's make the Plan B pill more accessible to people who may not have $30 to $50. I agree, Tam. I do think there are more options than abortion. And then, yes, there's also adoption and things of that nature. But what I'm saying is, if we want to prevent it and we want to educate these young people on how not to get pregnant and the mistakes that they're making and the risks that they're taking, let's put some funding into that.
You tell them don't have sex.
And that works.
I mean,
that works.
I'm just saying, like, if only we could do like the most simple thing. No, it boils down to what is the most simplest thing we could do as human beings, and it's not have sex in order to ensure you don't procreate. Like, if you're not making that decision, then you should have already thought about what the repercussions were. It begins with that one choice. It's very simple. You either do or you don't have sex. That starts the ball rolling right there, where you have to start making decisions for other things.
I'm not behind that one, because I don't think should have consequences. I get that, but bringing a child into this world has lifelong altering implications, and it's some stuff I don't think you should have to go. No, I had a child at 19. I chose to have my baby. I am always pro-choice. Yes, there are other options than abortion. I could have gave her up for adoption. I chose to continue my pregnancy, to have labor, and to raise my child. But there are places in my life that I could a whole lot earlier before. I could have given her a better life. Someone else could have gave her a better life. I do not think that by having sex, that just because you're pregnant, everything has to stop. Some men, they can you see women in high school get pregnant and the baby daddies, they still running out. They having dates, they're going out, they have a life, they playing football. Nothing stops for them. For us, it stops. It slows down. Some people, it completely stops. I don't think sex should have that much of an impact on you. I think men need to take some responsibility and wrap up, just like women need to be on the pill. or a shot or whatever it is. Have that discussion. You don't want a child, don't have it. You get pregnant, abort it. I'm always pro-choice. You want to keep it, keep it. That's you, your body. I'm not supporting you. That's your money. That's your life, your time. But do not do something because somebody's forcing you to do it. I'm sorry, I can hear the repairmen, but they're like 2 yards over. I get a little right because I hate anyone taking someone's choice, regardless of what it is. Don't take her choice. It's the same thing with everything. Hell, buying a car. Don't tell me I gotta buy this kind of car. I went to work and made this money. I'm gonna buy whatever car I want to buy. I know a lot of people who were planned. Tam says she doesn't know anyone that was planned. I know several pregnancies that were planned. It's all of a conversation. If you are taking birth control, you obviously are not trying to get pregnant. So you may not be planning to have a baby, but you're planning on stopping a child. If that birth control fails, now you got to weigh those consequences. I chose to have my last one. I am pro-choice. I'm going to say that until the video is over. But if her dad would have came in and said, no, you're going to have an abortion, he'd have had an issue. If he'd have came in and said, no, we are going to definitely 100% have her, he'd have had an issue. This is my body. What are men giving up? You want me to carry this child for 10 months, go through the physical pain of pushing her out, and then give it away to somebody else for it to sit in the system? How many kids are picked up for adoption? I volunteer with an adoption agency. You know how many kids?
Black children, the percentage is low because people are seeking out blonde, blue-eyed babies.
Especially Black little boys. Do you know there's 3 in this one adoption agency that have been there longer than 7 years? Longer than 7 years that the state is taking care of. And every Christmas, me and my kids put money together and we go buy gifts for this little boy because there ain't nobody else to buy him for him. So everybody wants to holler, oh, it's other options. But what's going to happen with these babies? When they sitting in a room and there's 6 or 7 beds in one room and they going to school wearing hand-me-down clothes, being picked on, being bullied. Oh, you ain't got no mama. You ain't got no daddy. And then they go to foster homes and these foster parents ain't treating them right. They just there for a check. I am always pro-choice.
Always. I think that's kind of a stretch because there are families that take care of foster kids.
There are families. There are.
Some that don't.
But you wanted to talk about rationale and putting.
It's because it's like the whole thing is like negative. Like you can't. It's hypocritical to see one side and not see the other.
Oh, I see.
Because there are men out there. There's men out there that do care.
And I didn't say they didn't, but you can care from here until Methuselah come back.
It's isolating those. It's isolating those few that you're talking about. Like you're saying, it's few. It's isolating them as if they don't exist.
That was the same thing you just did with your examples.
No, I'm saying both sides. I looked at it from a logical standpoint. I said, so men don't have that right. I said a choice to abortion should be for both parties. You just brought up the small
spectrum of men, and I brought up the small spectrum. You said there is a group of men who actually do care, and I said there are a group of families who do care. That was the same thing. It was just opposite ends. One was positive, one was negative. Yes, these anomalies do exist. These families do exist. These men that really want these babies, they do exist. But the bottom line is, this is my body. It's always going to be my choice. Whether y'all make it legal or you make it illegal, I am going to find a way. I refuse. I'm tired of other people policing me. I am tired of men and society policing women. You want to be able to have a baby? Go have a surgery and get you a baby. Other than that, if you see me taking birth control and I get pregnant, understand there's a great possibility that this child is not going to see the light of day.
And that's what I'm saying. It all begins with the choice to have sex, period.
I agree. But overall, I think that choices for a person are individualized. I think a person should be able to write their own story and to write their own narrative. And I respect the opinion of anybody. And if somebody does not believe in abortion, I think an easy answer is don't have one. I think if a man doesn't believe in abortion, he should have a decision with her. He should have a conversation with the woman before he lays down with her and says, if we get pregnant, we will not have an abortion. And then she says, okay, then that's who you have sex with. But I don't care what the person next door to me does. I care what I do. And if I don't believe in abortion, I'm not going to have one. And I don't care what Susie does.
Agreed.
But on a lighter note, folks, it's Pride Month. It's Pride Month. And I don't know what y'all think about it, but I just think Pride Month is a happy month. I think that there's all this togetherness, and I think that the world is evolving.
Thank you, Lamar.
Thank you, Lamar. Much appreciated. I think the world is evolving. I think that people are being more accepted for the most part for their choices as far as whom they love. What does Pride Month mean to you ladies?
I'm new to it, but I'm excited for it. Coming in, I thought Pride Month was like, oh, they're still fighting for their rights. I'm sorry, y'all, but I'm happy. I'm glad to see that they have a platform. It may not be as safe as it needs to be, or it should be, but I'm happy that more light is being shed on it. I'm happy that that they are feeling more human. I'm happy that I just think it's overdue. Like, why did it take it to 2021 or whenever Pride Month originated? Why did it take so long? It's a lot of stuff that I'm like, why is it taking it so long to do? Hey, love who you want to love, be who you want to be. Go. I don't know anyone participating in Pride Month, or I would, be at an event or two or whatever. But I'm happy for them. I love seeing it. Go, do you?
We're in the age of diversity and inclusion. So if you're not on the train, then it sucks to be you, I guess, is the message. I find it really crazy that, the LGBTQ community gets a better month, I guess, of celebration than, our Black History Month, but whatever, the Asian month and Women's Month and everything, they go ham. And it's all due to, it's a celebration of sexual orientation. Like, if you didn't say you were gay, nobody would know you were gay. So it's literally what you're doing behind closed doors being acceptable, made in the light. I don't know what to say else besides that. So I'm just like, I'm all for it. People can do whatever they want. I don't think it's late because I feel like there's been places where you can exist however you want to exist. And you heard about that, like within our history, within, even in textbooks, it's implied that there were gay relationships. There's only I guess a few times in history where they were really mobbed and lynched and all that. But as far as now, they found a way to make it socially acceptable over the years. So now here it is. I just wish we had a doper month.
Because of the weather.
I want parades and stuff too, man.
Oh, you want it during the warm weather?
Yeah.
Let's go for August. Let's move it.
Yeah.
Right? Can we get a summer? Yeah. Can we get ours in nope, because it's still raining right now. Let's get ours next month. Ours is next month.
July.
It'll be hot. We could barbecue.
Nah, I'm thinking October.
No, it's cold in October.
We want it hot. We want to be outside.
I want to be hot. I want to be out there, butt naked.
I don't know about butt naked. Give me a bathing suit cover.
Shantae mentioned that Black History Month is in February for a reason. It was chosen by our Black leaders to have it in a week in February, and it was extended to a month. Okay.
I mean, yeah, but they couldn't have picked a better time during the year. That way we could be outside and they could be inside.
I do understand where you guys come from, meaning that it just seems like we're celebrating what someone does behind closed doors in their bedroom, and it's like for what? And I get that, but for me, knowing people who have chosen, or not that they've chosen, who are LGBTQIA, etc., who were shunned, who were kind of ostracized from the Black community, the Black church, and things like that, who are some were in the closet until they were in their 40s, 50s, or even later, or who are still in the closet. For me, it means that these individuals no longer have to suffer from that depression and that being shunned and that being belittled, because now it's more frowned upon that you have a negative attitude towards someone's sexual orientation than the opposite. Because I don't know about a lot of you guys, but I was raised in church that being lesbian, gay, whatever was an abomination. You were damned to hell. You got prayed over. We're gonna get this,
which is hypocritical because that was all up in the Bible.
We're gonna get this spirit out of you. And then they ended up, a lot of them that chose to still live in their truth would have to sometimes go off and find their own families and acceptance and friends and circles and things like that, because they were ousted out of their own families or communities. So for me, it means that maybe someone doesn't have to suffer because they want to go out in public with the person that they love. And I don't know about y'all, but y'all remember back in the day how some of our older aunts, uncles, and things like that would always have a good friend, and they'd always call them their friend. And then when they die later, you find out that probably wasn't really their friend, but they kind of had to hide who they are for their whole life because of the way that they were judged and the way it was frowned upon. Now, should we celebrate what someone's doing in their private life? Because don't nobody congratulate me every time I get it in. I totally get that. But I don't really think that's what it is.
Because you slacking, Devin. You halfway getting it in, but we ain't going there today. You can't even respond.
When I do get it in.
Okay.
Don't nobody come behind me with drums and balloons and stuff like that and cheer for me. I get that, but I don't think that's what that month is about. I don't think it's celebrating what somebody does behind closed doors. I believe celebrate being able to be comfortable in your skin.
Yeah, I never thought it was about sexual acts. That's why I was a little, I thought it was more about we have the right to be seen. We have the right to get married. We have the right now that my spouse can be on my insurance. Y'all know I do HR work. And I didn't even realize that domestic partnerships were not allowed to share insurance. Shoot, almost 10 years ago, I was like, what? So if I had a girlfriend and I made more money, my insurance was better. She got sick. She was just stuck out. I couldn't put her on my insurance. And yeah, I'm a Christian. I've been to churches where I've seen them slain in the spirit, as they call it, laid across the altar and everybody walking around praying and stuff, and get up and they finally agree to what you're saying. They get up and they still go home to their girlfriends. I would never want to live where I had to be ashamed of who I am.
Tam said that she doesn't discriminate. She's bothered by our Asian brothers and sisters being protected before Blacks. I'm happy for them, but I'm still disappointed. I do agree with you, Tam. Black rights, the plight of the Black man, Black woman, and things like that. I believe that's still an ongoing issue, and I do think that that's something that also still needs to be addressed. But I kind of think it's a separate issue. But I totally get what you're saying.
Issue, Tam, I feel like that has more to do with the Blacks. Like, are we really pushing and behind that? Like, we have a marginalized people in a marginalized group. Like, Devin and I are vocal and we're out. I'm at community meetings, I'm marching, I'm stuff. But I got at least 15 or 20 other Black folks on my block that don't get up and go do anything, that are waiting on me to make a change so they can finally get up and say, oh, now we have this. So I don't think we're supporting like some of the Asians and other groups that are getting all this. Yeah.
And although Black people have a long way to go, Can I also say, can I be devil's advocate? I think we've accomplished a lot. And I
A
think that
lot.
on so many occasions, our voices have been heard. I believe that laws will continue to change because
Mhm.
we don't just sit back and let stuff happen. We stand up, we get out there, we say how we feel. You know what I'm saying? And I hope that that continues. And I hope so. I hope that that continues. And I think that Black people will always keep fighting and get the laws changed and things like that. I don't know. I hate to sing this again, but I just think a lot of it is who we're voting for. You know what I'm saying? I just need us to not just vote in those presidential elections every 4 years. I need us to also get out and vote in those local elections to get the right people in office so that these laws continue to change and continue to help shape the narratives of us.
I wish you could come and sit at the voting booths when we there and see how many people come in. I can count the number of folks that look like me and you that walk through TJ Elementary, TJ Lee Elementary over here. I
But
just
when I
be
say get out there and vote in local elections, it's like it falls on deaf ears. Like nobody really wants to
it
hear
does.
that, but it's the truth. That's what we
And
need
it'd be
to
the main things that they arguing about. Third Thursdays in Irving is our city council. And they come in and I'm like, y'all, we just had this on the ballot. None of y'all showed up, but now y'all here mad.
Tam mentioned, wow, I can't believe you don't think Blacks don't push enough, especially now more than ever. No. That's not accurate.
That's not what I said. I said we do not, I said we don't have as much as some of the other ones. We don't have as many. And I can give you statistics. I can email you the data. We, looking at voting records, we have a lot of people that go sign up, but they don't show up to vote. Looking at issues and stuff, they might bring up an issue in January, but if it's not finished by April, they're not back in August saying, why is this not done? If it's 50 of us that start, it's probably 10 of us that finish. That's what I said.
And Sante mentioned, I get it though, AAPI got a bill quick, but Blacks can't even get an anti-lynching bill. That is because we don't have the right individuals in office. I truly believe that, y'all. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know if the right people even running to be, if we even have the ability to vote for that person who would care about those types of issues. You know what I'm saying? But I think that Black people, we try hard and we always speak our needs and what we want and things like that. But I just think it falls on deaf ears. Have more babies and amplify.
I can't have no more kids. I did mine. I had 3.
Yes.
When you and Lamar gonna pop out some babies? Y'all still young.
That's funny. Ain't gonna
14%. What 14%, Tam? What is that?
Black people are 14% of the population.
Oh, exactly. Okay.
Or so they say.
Yeah.
But I think, yes, Black people are 14% of the population. But I think if more Black people got out and voted more and spoke their opinion and advised others to vote, those friends, those non-Black friends, family, co-workers, and things like that, I believe we can start kind of pushing the narrative in our direction to our benefit. We just had a pup we popped out last month. That pup ain't voting. It's cute. It's cute though. It's cute, but they don't, they stop mail-in ballots. If they wouldn't try to stop these mail-in ballots, you can get a mail-in ballot and write and let Fido vote. But they trying to stop that. That's one of the things. Let me quit, because that's one of the reasons why they were trying to stop it, and I ain't got no sense.
Yeah, okay. Disclaimer: that was Devin's opinion. That is not the opinion of POV.
Let me quit. I'm just playing. Mail-in ballots are legitimate. They're not fake. I'm just joking.
The numbers for mail-in ballots are the numbers for Black voters. Irving had a 4.5% increase this year, which was great. But if you look at how many Black people we have registered to vote and how many actually turned out, that was sad. And if you look at the number that turn out for citywide or countywide elections, it's even sadder. And those, like Devin was saying, those are the ones that really affected. I mean, y'all not voting on who your judge is, but that's the man that's sentencing you when you get a ticket. That's the man that's sentencing you when you go to jail.
Black people, like you said, make up 14% of the population, but more than half of the prisons. Now that math don't make sense. That math is not mathing. That makes no sense. So it does need to start with like your county judges and things like that, because the justice system, I think, is more corrupt.
Oh man,
the judge.
We're gonna start a whole nother topic.
The most corrupt. That needs to be a whole conversation, because it's just,
in all honesty,
people know the numbers.
I'm surprised they have not told me that I can't come back to a city council meeting, because I bring up voter suppression, I bring up registration, I bring up education. What are we doing to make sure that these Black people are getting out to vote? So I'm really surprised that they ain't told me to stay at home. They gon' and some If I come up missing somewhere,
about the justice system and how
they're gonna hide me somewhere.
Because maybe if more people knew how horrible it was, more people would be involved.
I hope so. I hope it changes. I really do. I would love to see Black History Month in August, maybe September, kind of compromise. So it's not super hot, super cold. So Devin will come outside with us. But yeah, October, that's too far off. We need to be in the heat. We are tropical people.
I was kind of hoping Rue would be back before we hit those final thoughts, but she's having some technical issues. And Tam just brought up reparations. I would really love to have a conversation about reparations if y'all want. So if we could hit reparations, if
we can do that next week.
System, we need to hit those. Those are two very important topics.
I can hear y'all.
Okay, good. Okay, y'all. Well, let's wrap up. Final thoughts. Rue?
Yes, Tam.
I guess my final thoughts are being considerate of each other. Be considerate of your partner. Be considerate of your neighbor. Try to make decisions based off of the best case scenario, not the worst, because you don't want to put that juju on yourself. So I'll go with that.
All right, LaCrisha.
I'm sorry, I've been eating ice all night. I'm
gonna need you to get your iron levels checked, please.
I know, but that's what it is. Then that dang gonna methotrexate got me super hot. But I kind of shared my final thoughts a while ago. I'm always pro-choice. I'm happy for Pride Month. We do need to discuss reparations. We do need to get Black voters up. We love you too, Tam. You need to be a guest next week. That's what we're gonna vote for. Tam is on with us next week. But I think we're getting there. It's just slow. But we're if we keep going, progress is progress. So we'll get there.
Yeah. I love that everyone has their own opinions. I don't want everyone to be alike. I don't want everybody to think alike. I think this world will be so boring. I think that people should live in their own peace. You should always respect your peace, protect your peace, do what makes you happy and do what's right for you. Those who have dropped in, I just want to thank you for watching, and those who maybe will stop by later, just take a little time to like, subscribe, share. Thank you, Tam, for that. Much appreciated. Much appreciated.
Thank you.
Not else.
To show up and out at the polls. If we're all showing up, great. But let's just keep it going. Y'all be blessed. You're right. Love one another. Good night.
Good night. Peace.
Next week, Tam.
I can't see my face.